Hi everybody, it's Julianne Jones here with a video blog post for you. And I am coming to you today from my brand new home office in my brand new home in my brand new city. I last weekend moved from Walla Walla, Washington in eastern Washington to Vancouver, Washington in the western part of the state. And so I am in the Portland, Vancouver area now. I actually grew up in the Portland area. Most of my family lives here. I have a ton of old and new friends here. My Sweet Adeline's chorus is here. And since the death of my husband in February, I really have been working on getting relocated over here because I have a lot more support here. I have a lot more friends and family here, and it just feels like the right place to be. And I bought a brand new home, so I'm the first person to live here. This is my new office. I wish I could show you the whole thing. It's gigantic. I'm actually going to have a little table and chairs in my office for people to come sit if they want. It's the biggest home I've ever had, and I keep having to pinch myself that I'm actually living here. I want to talk to you today just a little bit about my life, especially the last, really the last 3 years since my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and through that cancer journey and his death, and then the 6 months since his death, and all the transition that I've been through, and then this move, which has really been going on. I started it in May, and if any of you have purchased a home recently, it's quite a process. You know, not only was I having to jump through all the hoops to purchase this home, but I am selling my home in Walla Walla, and there's all that's involved in that. So my life has been really, really crazy and busy, and I know that happens. You know, life is what happens when you're making other plans. That's what I always say. And the truth is, when you have a home business or you're an entrepreneur, which all of you probably do if you're watching this video, it can be really tempting when something like that happens in your life to just sort of put your business on hold or stick it on the shelf and kind of hope it's there when you come back to it. We have a tendency, especially if you work part-time in your direct sales business, to kind of, when something like comes up in your life that takes more of your time, to do one of two things. Either put your head down, dive in, and just get it all done, which is what I've had to do. And in a way I've had to, because I support myself with this business. So, you know, if I wasn't working, I wasn't paying my bills. But also, the other side that I see is a lot of times direct sellers especially just sort of stop. Something comes up in their life, they get pregnant, someone loses a job, a child gets sick, and instead of doing what they need to do to keep their business afloat, even if it's just more part-time, they let that go. And so there's nothing to come back to when eventually your life does come around to normal again. And that always happens, you know. Those bumps in the road are bumps, and I've had some huge bumps this year. It's been certainly the worst year probably of my life to this point. But I've made it to where I am now, and I've continued to work. And in a lot of ways, the work has sort of kept me sane and has given me something else to focus on. And yes, I've worked my business around my life in a much more intentional way than I ever did in the past. But the truth is, I kept working. And I'm a big believer that if something is important enough to you, you'll find a way. And if it's not, you'll find an excuse. And it's really easy to use something that happens in your personal life, a bump in the road, as an excuse. So what I want to do today is encourage you to just look at ways that if something does come up in your life that rearranges things for you. You know, like with me, I had to spend more time at the hospital and in the doctor's offices and taking care of my husband, but it didn't mean that my business had to stop. There were always ways for me to work around that. You know, I worked from hospital rooms a lot. I found other times to work, you know, when he didn't need me. And so look at your situation and see how you can continue to work your business into that situation so that when your life does come back around to some sort of normal, you have a business to come back to. So that's my lesson for you today. I hope you're having a fabulous week. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Leave a comment down below this video and tell me what you think. Tell me about some of the bumps in your life that maybe you've been working around, and let's start a conversation. I'm always happy to hear from you. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Julianne Jones Inc. You can find me on Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. Julianne Jones is my username on all of those. And I also have a YouTube channel. So please feel free to comment, leave your thoughts below. And thanks so much for connecting with me today. I will see you next time. Make it a great day.